Almost 10 years after the first movie, The Accountant 2 might seem like a movie well worth the wait, but I'm actually here to tell you why it is not a good movie, guys. The first negative regarding this movie is how they kill off the wrong character. Ray King was the one killed off, and during the first movie, of course, we remember the story about how he met the assassin known as the Accountant, which of course was a much more interesting character than his counterpart, Mary Beth Medina. Maybe it might seem more natural that a man has money problems than a woman, but that does not mean it could not have been the other way around. Because with the killing of Mary Beth Medina instead, you could create an unlikely trio of Wolf, King, and Braxton, where they all decided to use violence together to get the right result and find out what happened to Medina instead. Because what does Medina give you? She's only this righteous, boring by the book character that wants to do everything the right way. And the real world, of course, tells you, and this movie tells you, that you have to loosen up a few strings to find out the results that you want. The second negative regarding this movie is how you see this movie that tries desperately to be funny and in a natural way. Almost from right along the start of the movie till the end, it tried desperately to make the whole movie look like a cheap comedy. From the reset of the dating algorithm, from the dating event in the beginning by the main character to the ongoing stuff about Braxton being a cat person, because of course the main character has to give him a cat by the ending just to prove a point. A lot of that stuff is so goddamn annoying, and it's no wonder this movie is not as well liked even by those that were hyped for the second movie. Generally, it is also a very boring movie in large parts of it, where you once again, just like in the first movie, see a lot of investigation and this emotional dialogue between the characters that time and time again start to ruin new movies. Of course, it is quite interesting that Braxton and Wolf starts quarreling, but this emotional affair in between them that drags from the past time and time again is something some of you might say build character, but to me it is just a case where they do not have enough new story to make a good movie. Another issue to point out with the movie is how you see this movie with a little action, except towards the end, it probably is the best part of the movie, as they rush against time to help these kids almost certain to be executed if they do not intervene. Sadly, you basically tie yourself throughout the whole movie before getting to this exact point where you see a little more hardcore action. Those scenes towards the end are a little tenser, but you just wish there were more of that in this movie. When it comes to the characters portrayed in the movie does yet another mistake when it comes to dealing out the screen time. There is a heavy focus on this new female assassin character played by Daniela Pineda that once was the victim of trafficking, but now she has hardened and become a badass strong woman. The mistake they are making is that she almost becomes the main character in this movie, because she almost has more screen time than the character played by Ben Affleck. Kristen Wolf is of course the one you rather want to see in this movie, not this uninteresting female assassin character. A general comment about this movie has to be that it might be a little bit funny and might laugh a little bit when you see this rift between Wolf, Braxton, and Medina, where she wants to do it by the book, while they are willing to use violence and torture in order to get the right answers. And it is quite insane that Ben Affleck gets all these small autistic children to hack for him. Nevertheless, it is not really enough entertainment in these scenes to make a good movie. At the end here, I have to give a last comment about the movie, where I feel it could have been a lot more interesting, just like I missed in the first movie, if you could see the clients that the main character is dealing with, who really are these very nasty, strong, scary, mafia-like characters that the main character has in his rooster. A more behind-the-scenes approach on that is what I miss. Rather than what he has to solve this time, a totally uninteresting puzzle, then the movie could at least have had a little more depth, and it would be a little more about the main character rather than a deep, unnecessary story about this female assassin, which just is one of the reasons why I will give this yet another failed new movie a 5.5 out of 10.